Guys, you know the story by now. And the story's not here where you're watching. It's over on patreon.com/SLY Guy Podcast. It's where we've got all the stuff that you want to see. We've got the guest episode that goes out every Friday. We've got vlogs. I'm a vlog guy now. Loads of those things over there. We've got the extra SLY Guy Podcast, which is audio only, and it's out every Monday. And you get early access to this podcast and other stuff too, like live shows, ticket releases early, all that shit. All at www.patreon.com/SLY Guy Podcast. You can get on there for £2. Like, what else do you want? You're helping me. You're helping yourself in a roundabout way as well. Just bounce on over and fucking do the right thing. The SLY Guy Podcast is always brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Modest is a company who makes beer. They don't like to boast about it because their name's Modest. And that's all I have to say about that. If you want to learn more about Modest Beer, you can go to their website, www.modestbeer.co.uk, and just check it out. You can subscribe to their Brewsletter, which is a pun on newsletter. And you can just subscribe to that, get wee emails into your inbox, and it'll tell you all about their beers. If you see BA doing that because you're too lazy and fat, you can just subscribe to their social media channels at Modest Beer. But get on it and have a good time.
I'm the SLY Guy.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the SLY Guy Podcast. This week we have one of my favourite people as a guest on the podcast. A man who went to the wilderness and he's back. A man who is both hilarious and insightful, a creator, an inventor, a comedian and a friend. It's none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Ruairi Woods. And this episode was high. There were some funny moments. There were some meaningful moments. It was a great discussion. It was a great catch up. It was basically just two mates who haven't seen each other in a wee while catching up. And if you want to be party to that, you can keep watching the episode. And if you're like, no, that sounds gay, I don't want to watch that shit, you can just turn off. But either way, enjoy the episode. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoa, there we go. That looks like we're cooking with gas at long last. Listen, Woodsies, sorry for that. We've taken a wee bit of a delay on getting sorted. I'm sorry, it's unprofessional. I'm an unprofessional guy.
That's all right. I mean, it was just the cameras, lights, and sound. Yeah. But apart from that, But
we did a live podcast on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so all my equipment was taken by the
thieves.
taxman.
Yeah, pirates.
And I nearly said the pirates of the Labian, but that doesn't work. The Labian. I'm not having a funny day. All right, I'm not funny today.
Is Labian like something to do with labia?
I tried to make Caribbean. I meant to say Labian, but no. The Pirates of the Labia. Doesn't work.
It's what French people say when they're saying their favourite Batman villain. Le Bien.
Le Bien.
Le Dark Knight.
I suppose if you were to make a labia, it would be Labia Aha, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be a band.
Take on Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan Partridge would be pornographic Alan Partridge.
Yeah, Labia Aha. Yeah, Labia Abba.
Here.
Works, yeah.
Knowing me, knowing you.
Yeah, indeed. Very much so.
Labia. What others could you get Labia Andy? What other songs?
Other songs? I do. You got to go through bands, really, don't you?
Yeah.
And then we went just Hey Labia, but that's just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Hey Labia.
That you on about Outcast? Hey Ya? Is that what you were?
No, I was talking about Hey Jude.
All right, I was doing Hey Ya by Outcast.
Labia, oh.
Let me some sugar. I am your neighbour.
I am your labia. That works. Yeah. Listen,
I can be your labia.
No, we're trying to.
Enrique Labias.
A labias? Is that just where you
cut
from the front right through? It's just one big pouch from the valley to and that's assuming labias has a labia.
Yeah. And you don't want to assume anything this day and age.
Labia, can I hold you tonight? That's the best. Yeah, that's the winner.
Tracy Flatman.
There we go.
There you go. I'm back. No, cunts.
I only said Ronan beefing, but that doesn't work. It's just terrible. Just meeting, maybe meeting. Yeah, boning meeting.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Bonin O'Gara.
That's good. Then we're falling into rugby.
Yeah,
aren't we? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The night.
No, I used to think that's what the saying was. Jesus Christ the night, as in with a K. As in Jesus Christ doubled up as well as just being a pretty chill guy with us mates. Also was a literal night of like the Templar and all that shit. Yeah, that's what we are. Nice
That's
around
where we
here.
are.
Where's your signature here? You're
My
giving
signature
off
is
about it.
literally there where everybody's elbow is. Your
There's
Idris
a couple
elbow.
of rub-offs. I don't know who this guy's rubbed off. I don't know who that guy's rubbed off is. Yours is still stood the test of time.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. I wish Kevin Hart was in here. You know, he just lived here for a full year, but
Yeah. You got sick of him after a while, didn't you?
yeah, you know what? It definitely you lost the excitement after about the 45th time.
Oh, easily, yeah. 42nd time was good.
Yeah, but
That
before
was the bit. Prior to that, it was dog shit. Anyway. That 42nd performance.
But listen, it was nice to have him here. Who would you like to see come now? To
just myself, to be honest. You know what I mean? Who would I like to see in terms of like global, just comedians or
like
just
to
in
live
general?
here? Yeah, just whoever.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it does seem Belfast seems oddly sort of attractive for celebrities. Every so often you hear like Morgan Freeman standing about. Christoph Waltz was here recently enough. Did you hear that?
No.
From Django Unchained.
And also
Inglourious
Bastards.
Bastards.
And what's he doing? Filming something or just holidays?
I don't know. I was in Edinburgh at the time. Edinburgh, Germany. Not
Yeah.
Scotland.
So well, I genuinely was like, really? Is that like near Nuremberg? Is it?
Appreciate it. But I just seen a lot of people tweeting going, Christoph Waltz on the Dublin Road.
Fuck's sake. Fuck
Fuck's sake, fucking Christoph Waltz. Fucking named after a dance.
Fucking Christopher Walton. He's that guy that speaks like this, isn't he? And you're like, no, it's Christopher Bollocks. Have you seen any celebrities yourself? Like, who would be your favourite celebrity spot you've seen? Anyone you've seen and gone to yourself, oh, I'm glad I met them.
Well, I didn't meet him, but I remember once on the Dublin Road, coincidentally enough, Colm Meaney from Con Air.
Nice, yeah.
Was standing about. He must have been doing something in the movie house. The movie house was still
Martin
living.
McGuinness.
Martin McGuinness.
He's played Martin McGuinness before, hasn't he?
Did he? Yeah.
And he looks a lot like Martin McGuinness.
Played him like backgammon or something. Or
yeah, he
NFL?
just chess. Yeah,
Yeah, just Cluedo.
But yeah, I think Colm Meaney was. Now, this is the thing I've been doing in more recent podcasts is Googling, which is people have said I don't like that you just go onto your phone, but I'm like, listen, I don't like that you pass comment on what I do. So
Shut the fuck up.
Colm Meaney, Martin
Fuck up.
McGuinness. Was it The Journey or something he was in too? Or was that Jerry Adams?
I've only really seen Con Air, so I haven't seen a lot of Colm Meaney.
It was The Journey. What a knowledge.
Yeah.
The Journey's basically where him was written by Colin Bateman, aka Bateman. Yeah, he's the banker version of Batman.
Yeah.
It's just said if you're
Is anything to Paddy Bateman, the American Psycho?
he could be, yeah.
Cousins?
But what Bateman does, he just turns up to your door and you're masturbating. Just punches the dick out of your hand. Bateman. So disrespectful. I see him kicking out Bangor all the time and I'm not going to be able to look him in the face again, but I'll be able to look him down the pit. Anyway, yeah, Martin McGuinness and Ian Paisley on a car journey. It's Timothy Spall and Colm Meaney.
Oh,
Which
I
is
think
weird.
I remember seeing images from it. So Timothy Spall is Paisley.
Yeah, because I mean, he just looks like a bit of a fatter Marty.
There is a Marty McGuinness vibe.
I mean,
there.
see if you're a guy with sort of a ginger perm, you're either going to be Martin McGuinness or Garfunkel.
Or Simply Red.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
He's
Mick
another grumpy man.
Fucknell.
Make it there and there's Sarge Spall as Paisley.
That looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've watched it and it's okay. Like,
A tough wank, or was it handy enough?
oh man, with Paisley and it's easy.
Oh, Paisley.
You know, Paisley, gone but not forgotten in my dreams is what Paisley's all about. But would you be you strike me as the kind of guy that wouldn't be a big idol haver. You know, you don't strike me as someone who would see someone and be like, I have to go and get a photo with him or whatever.
Yeah, I think I would just feel like a dickhead for ruining their day. I'd rather it be like sound from a distance. Like maybe just say hello.
Just
or
like
be like enjoy.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, I'd just rather be like sound and be like enjoy your latte, Christoph Waltz. But it wouldn't bother him, and then he would remember me more so as the guy that didn't really engage.
Yeah.
And just be like, I like that fella. Maybe he could be in a Tarantino film with me.
And so what did you do when you saw Colm Meaney? Did you just walk?
I just walked behind him. I was like, oh, there's Colm Meaney. Like, he's not that good.
Yeah.
I like him in
So
Con
you're not
Air.
a big fan of Colm Meaney, bar Con Air?
Yeah, it's the only thing I've seen.
And who, like, is this the thing? I don't know a lot about you in terms of your fans and what you're into, you know, sort of the music you're into, but would there be anyone that you'd be like, that's your guy? I mean, I know you do a lot of material about Jerry Adams, and I thought, and sometimes if you saw Jerry, you might be like,
I would
he's
have
a guy I'd
liked.
speak to.
I would like to have, like, get maybe some social media interaction with him when I put up
Yeah.
the cookbook bit, but apparently, I assume he saw it, you know,
Yeah.
but he never engaged. But now I wouldn't give a fuck if I didn't meet Jerry
Yeah,
Adams.
but the only good thing I can say about you is you don't have a car.
That's true.
So
You know
like,
what
if
I
you were
mean?
to put
So-
that up, he's likely to put wee something under it. Be like, I
Yeah.
saw your video, very funny.
Yeah, that was very, very comical indeed.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha, up the ha ha ha. You bastard.
Do you reckon he's any crack at all? Because
Oh.
a social media presence would suggest so, but maybe that's
yeah.
people telling him what to do.
But I had a weird thing. Like I find like if you have to have some crack, don't you? Unless you're in the dip.
Yeah.
Now I want to show you Jeff-ception today, right?
Yeah.
I took a video when I was at the May Day celebration in Hollywood, and I did. There was some Jeff-ception going on. You might be like, "What? Do you want to know what Jeff-ception is?"
I do indeed.
There's so many Jeffs kicking about. So there you go.
Yeah.
If you zoom in here, you know who is just playing the flute.
No.
No, David Jeffrey, mate. The Linfield, former Linfield legendary manager, manages Ballymena now. Just
Yeah.
David Jeffrey playing the old flute, and then you move across.
I thought it was Greg Wallace. from
No,
MasterChef.
and then look, Sailor Jeffrey, old Jeffrey Donaldson.
Right.
Just-
I don't know.
Just
how it is.
Jeff-ception, and then to make Jeff-ception go even further, this is the episode's called Jeff-ception. I was outside Lynchpin in Hollywood, and you know who's standing out having a latte?
Jeff
Oliver
Hardy.
Jeffers. Jeff Hardy. I mean, really,
That's a different podcast, probably, isn't it?
I mean, David Jeffrey, Jeffrey Donaldson, Oliver Jeffers, and Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Dahmer.
Oh, yeah.
Who else was there?
But he was outside Lynchpin, which is a vegetarian restaurant, so Dahmer wouldn't be
Nah.
on any of that.
Nah, he wouldn't be
You
there.
know.
Any other famous Jeffs you reckon we can? Foxworthy?
Oh, that bald one that's got all the money. It owns Amazon.
Bezos?
Bezos. Oh, no, and your mate Epstein.
Epstein? I mean,
Yeah.
my surrogate uncle.
Yeah, what's some phrases for deaf people that you could replace the Jeff in?
I don't think it really matters.
No. But is there any like terms for like deaf people? You just like if you were making a pun, I know you're a pun man,
Tone
you
Jeff?
I go with
instead
Tone
of
Jeff.
Yeah.
and it's just all about Bezos getting in
Yeah.
shape.
What sort of music do you listen to? Death metal?
Oh yeah, the deaf.
Here, death metal would be
Yeah.
a great genre of music.
Yeah, Jeff Metal.
Holy diver.
Yeah,
That was the first song I think of. Holy diver.
Yeah, I push my fingers. In fact, I can't because I don't need them to stop working too. Yeah,
There's also a spin-off band for the Alzheimer's sufferers called Before I Forget.
Oh, well,
Cancelled already?
Listen,
How
it's
far
good.
away in?
You've taken a wee break, but you're back
did.
and you're cancelled.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Don't like. I want to know because you know what? Obviously, we're two old dad boys. Like
Mhm.
we're old men. I think we're old
Yeah.
at heart. You know, we like the simple things in life.
Oh, that heart.
Yeah,
What's that song?
what we need to do is we need to be the Northern Irish version of Louis Walsh and go and find this disabled, deaf, old Alzheimer band and create them, just get them to do all the hits.
Well,
Like that movie Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah.
You've seen it? It's a classic.
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh,
but
really enjoyable. It's
Really?
the sort of film I like.
Just like it sounds feel good.
Yeah, it's like
It's not about the history of the
the
sweets,
sweet.
no?
Yeah, it's like you ever wonder about a Fisherman's Friend sweet? Have you ever eaten them? They
Yeah,
are
they're the worst
absolutely
thing ever.
Fucking stinking.
Yeah.
Who's ever going to like do a taste test that and go? I'll tell you what, mass produce these.
Yeah. The actual, like an actual fisherman smells better, and they're leaping.
But also, why is that disgusting sweet? The friend of a fisherman. If anything, that'd be an enemy. A fisherman's going through a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
The last thing he needs is he just wants a nice wee treat.
Yeah.
Maybe give him some Skittles.
It was weird when I worked in a bingo hall when I first
Well, I
started
mean, you
working.
could just stop saying that after that sentence. That
Yeah.
works.
Nobody seems to know I
Yeah.
did this.
It was weird when I worked in a bingo hall.
Yeah.
End
But
of.
nearly every weird woman just had like bowls of fisherman friends.
Do you think there was anything?
It was
in
like a casual thing. The way same me and you would eat like Skittles or
They're
like
just
fat
eating-
dicks, and then do you know what I mean? They're sitting on fisherman's
I'll
friends
say
just
gobble
casually
of
like
fisherman's friends down in one go.
Yeah. choking on dick. But, you know, it was just a strange thing. I thought it was a medicinal thing.
Yeah.
But apparently, well, mind you, so was Lucozade. They're like, you drink that.
Buckfast.
Buckfast as
Yeah.
well. Like, Buckfast would empty. Like, if you
Yeah.
had an upset tummy or you had something bad and
Yeah.
you need a bulk,
But I still
the buck
believe
in.
in the old adage that a Guinness does wonders for your health.
in terms of emptying.
Like if I'm sick,
Yeah.
I feel like I can never truly recover until I've had a Guinness.
Yeah.
And if I'm dying of the hangover, the Cure, you find a Guinness.
Yeah.
We get
Iron.
a wee bit of Robert Smith. What's he called? Robert Smith in the Cure, is it?
Robert Smith.
Yeah. So we get the Cure. That's what you
Yeah.
need. Which ironically,
It'd be better if it was
Yeah.
Smithwick's because
Robert Smithwick's.
Yeah. Which is definitely probably someone there's definitely someone out there called Robbie
Yeah,
Smithwick's.
Robbie Smithwick's.
Yeah. Drinks Smithwick's but also steals it.
Yeah, I mean, it says it's his heirloom, isn't it? It's his,
Yeah.
it's his heredity.
But sure, even Guinness was recommended when you were pregnant back in the day. Well, that's what my
Yeah.
ma says, anyway.
I mean, I like that from her. Like, no, it's all good. The creamier the better.
Drop a blackcurrant in it for your vitamin C.
Have you ever tried a Guinness with that? No, blackcurrant?
No, I haven't.
No. Me neither.
I just personally don't see the point because I just like Guinness as it is.
Yeah.
Like, where do you stop after blackcurrant? What if you're like, it's not enough anymore and I need like Sunny Delight?
Yeah, in the Guinness.
Yeah, in bongo.
Or just, you know, those wee vitamin tablets you drop in. Boop.
I have to say, if you're slagging them, we're going to fall out because I went on a stag do recently and brought a load of vitamin C, like those Baraka tablets, but it was a cheap super drug version called like Voost. Saved my life because I was up 7 o'clock both mornings because I'm a dad, you know yourself. It's your 8 o'clock to lie in. No hangovers, no nothing, because I pounded a load of them before I went to bed.
Where was the stag?
Galway.
Nice. Did you go to any of the haunts that we would visit in their comedy days?
No, actually, no. I unfortunately, did the Guinness guru, that guy that played his YouTube, he had a lot of recommendations for the Guinness, and I followed him to a T, and he was right. Yeah. Taft's. Do you know if you ever went there?
It's nice.
It's great.
Would you say it's the best pint of Guinness you've ever had?
Yeah, for me personally.
Oh, wow.
Very much so. But there was no bad Guinness in Galway at any stage.
See, I when I was again on a stag do, I was at one recently in Newcastle.
County Down,
No, it's just the foot of the morns. I was in Newcastle. I was in upon the Tyne, and the first bit we couldn't find they were open. It was like 11 o'clock, and no bars were open till 12. Really? It was miserable. Went in the hotel, and this young fella was like, "What do you want?" We're like, "All the Guinness, like 12 pints of Guinness." And he poured 12 pints of Guinness, but he didn't let any of them settle. He just poured them flat out. And it was like that much head. And it was like, it tasted fizzy. It was horrible. Yeah. And that was the worst Guinness I think I've ever had.
Do you know what annoys me?
I liked him as a guy.
Do you think like there's definitely I don't know what the word is here, but there's like a lack of respect for Guinness elsewhere because the way it's supposed to be poured is the way it's supposed to be poured. That's it. Everybody knows that. But you wouldn't show the same level of sort of disregard to like cocktails. Just going, well, I'll just make that fucking mojito without rum. Who gives a fuck? Because it's still, you know what I mean?
It is weird. But also, do you think whenever they initially first, like when Arthur made his first lock of Guinnesses, like, do you think he was like, this is how you pour it? Or do you reckon he just maybe one day just, like, he was pouring it and then something came up and he's like, bollocks, and he had to go back, and then he topped it up and was like, fuck, that's even better.
Well, if it was the early days of him tampering with the recipe, I assume, because the finished recipe for Guinness makes you shit like a Viking, so what was it like beforehand?
But then you've got, you know, that other Guinness you can buy in like Tesco's, where it's like a Jamaican Guinness or something. It's like a
I've never heard of this.
No, it's like a
reggae Guinness.
Yeah, there's something, but it's like it's a bottle. I don't know. It's maybe I'm just making this entirely up. There's some kind of different types of Guinness that you can definitely like.
A Jamaican Guinness.
Yeah, I want to say Jamaican
Guinness.
A
big pint. Is it called like Cool Hunnings or something like that?
Yeah, Cool Runnings. Yeah. Cool Hunnings. That's entirely different. Yeah, that's what it brought. Jamaican Guinness. Results for Jamaican Guinness. How to make Guinness punch.
So it's more like a cocktail thing. It's not like
no, it's an actual type of Guinness. Like, is this it here? Could be maybe I'm just like, there's different types of bottled Guinness, and I think there's like an African one or a Jamaican one or something.
See, I never know when you're being serious.
Why are you laughing at me?
So I think like you're lying, but you're still googling stuff to commit to the lie.
No, types of bottled Guinness. Of diabetes is the first one on my Google search. Types of bottled Guinness. There are people listening to this and they're going, Dave, you fucking tube, but this is what it is.
You sure it's not just reggae sauce?
It could just be in the wrong aisle. Let's see.
Reggae, yes.
This looks like something. Yes, the West Indian Porter, which is also a guy who works.
Oh, you flaked there on that?
Yeah. I flaked big time. Yeah.
The Al Porter tribute act from across the pond. Yeah.
Well, Al Porter, the West Indies Porter, which is the brewer's source. So yeah, apparently it's like,
that's nice. I've had that. Yeah. I wouldn't call it Jamaican Guinness though.
No, that's what I mean, it was close.
Yeah.
The West Indies isn't a fucking stone throw away from the old West Indies, is it Guinness or Jamaican? I just saying words now.
Yeah.
Guinness West Indies Porter is an interpretation of a beer and a brand brewed back in 1801. With notes of toffee, the complex beer offers consumers real depth and flavour with a distinctive yet rounded taste.
Yeah, I've had it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just didn't realise that you described it as Jamaican Guinness.
Jamaican Guinness,
which it certainly has to be the name of this episode.
Yeah, Jamaican Guinness, yeah, we'll call it. Or else, the different types of Jeffreys. Let's see. Jamaican Guinness and West Indies. Let's see if West Indies Guinness is a thing. And if it comes up West Indies Porter. Yep, there you go. Yeah. I'm a dick.
Jamaican Guinness.
Yeah, I mean,
like, there's nothing even about the branding of that bottle or the colour on it's even close.
West
in Jamaica,
Indies.
did you just watch Cool Runnings in around the time that you drank one of those and just confused it? Like,
let me see, how far is it on the map? I need to find this out. Because I don't think the West Indies is too far from Jamaica.
Are you going to do a work in progress show?
Yeah, I'm going to do a work in progress show in the West Indies.
West Indies progress?
I'm going to drink porter. Yeah, I'll go with Al Porter to the West Indies. I might make it back, but I'll go. In fact, I'm definitely not that man's type, am I? Definitely.
Only one way to find out.
True. The Bear and the Predator is what we could call the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do we get on? That's how Arthur Guinness discovered you have to leave the pint of Guinness to settle.
Yeah.
Do any other ones need to settle? Any other drinks? Or just like...
I don't think so.
Beamish?
Beamish? I've had Beamish, but I don't know. But I wonder, like, how long do you reckon it took Arthur to perfect Guinness? Because even if he perfected it, he's not going to bring it to the public straight away. Because like, this is my special wee thing that nobody else knows about. And he must have known I'm on to something here.
Guinness is the only drink that is... They're like... It's the Stout Supreme. You know what I mean? Like, you have other lagers that are nice and whatever and blah, blah. But Guinness is... Any other stout is just not Guinness.
Yeah, I mean, they're like Beamish and is it Murphy's or something as well? It's all very decent. There's a new one now that there was a lot of it in Galway when I was down, Island's Edge.
Oh, wow.
And I actually asked the barman in Taft's, would you recommend that? And he just went, no.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And I'm just going, like, really? And it was no fucking shite, like.
And then Conor McGregor's got his now, the Forged.
That's right.
Stout. But it's everywhere. But I mean, it's not good. Have you tried his proper whiskey?
Yeah, I have.
Properly not that nice.
Yeah, well, I struggle with whiskey, but I had it when I was already steaming. Mm-hmm. But I didn't even like it then, which is a bad sign.
Yeah. Because
usually when you're steaming, you could drink battery acid and be like, splash of lime, it'll be right.
That's the danger, though. See, when you are steaming and you get something that is real stinking, it just hits the wrong part of your throat.
Yeah, and that, particularly at our age, that derails the whole night. You're like, I'm done.
And it's a lot of it too. Like you're spraying. It's a bukkake. Like when you get that out.
Bukkake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a skill, and I feel like the Guinness thing. Fair play that there is a few in and around the conversation, but even now, like Island's Edge is relatively new, and I'm just wondering, like, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think you're just going to overtake and become the premier? Like, see, like you've Coke and you've Pepsi,
yeah,
and then the rest, God bless, but you're never beaten.
No.
That there's just certain brands you're like they have this,
but even Pepsi, still not Coke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see, I've decided now more so with Pepsi.
Really? What was the moment that brought you more? When did you start drinking Pepsi more? How did this happen?
When it was on offer more than Coke. Honestly, that's it. Cost 11. Like there's usually deals on 2 litre bottles of Pepsi, but there's never deals on 2 litre bottles of Coke.
And do you go straight Pepsi or Pepsi Max?
Straight Pepsi. I couldn't cope with Pepsi Max.
What
I
is
like
Pepsi
having
Max?
eyebrows.
Is it like low sugar or what is it?
I think it's like more sugar. I think it's like it's again. It'd be weird to call it Max, but it's less than a normal Pepsi. And then the Pepsi Max Cherry is just like you could do your guttering with.
Do you like it? You're a cherry man, aren't you?
I've got a cherry Coke with me
and
today.
The cherry, but do you drink a Dr. Pepper?
I do like a Dr. Pepe.
Does Dr. Pepe taste like cherry, do you think? I always think.
There is a cherry vibe, certainly.
Yeah, I like a Dr. Pepper and I like a cherry Coke.
Yeah.
But like, do you remember Tab Clear back in the day?
I remember it, but I never had it.
It was delicious. My Aunt Ethel used to drink it.
I heard
She's
that.
like 92 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it must have been good for her guts.
And like, but do they still have it? I mean, was it her favourite drink, and now as a 92-year-old she can't get it anymore?
No, I think now she just like not what does she drink? Lucozade, I think, sir.
Lucozade again, medicinal.
Yeah, she likes Lucozade. She likes Ribena. Now, to be honest, her diet you're probably looking at as a 92-year-old and going, that's not what a dietitian would probably advise.
Yeah, as a 92-year-old.
But you know what? If I'm a 92-year-old, I would go to a dietitian. Eat my dick. I'm 92.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like there's certainly there must be an element of like when you're 92, you're going, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, because that's what she does. She drinks Lucozade. She eats snowballs.
Yeah,
grapes.
Days, nothing wrong with that.
Snowballs are nice though too.
I mean, fair play if you want to eat healthy at that stage and try and conserve a bit more of your life. That's grand, but that's going to be grim as fuck. You're like, well, I had lentils, and you're like, well, you could have been 92 and trying heroin for the crack.
Quite literally.
Ah.
Like, I think, if you get that old, I would want to whack all sorts into me.
Yeah, if you got that stage, you're like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. Then I'd be just here, fucking try everything.
Yeah, because do you ever see whenever, like, you see really old folks, I've had my granny before and my aunts and stuff, and they're just like sometimes they'll be like, just leave me be. Stop bringing me things.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. But there's no polite way of saying that.
No.
Your loved ones that are.
But what was an absolute turn up for the books? I had an old aunt who was a bit like that and was just like, popped her in the home. Time of her life.
Yeah.
All around these other dudes, all these old guys, all these old women. They
Roasted.
they shaved their beard, and she was like buzzing about it. Yeah, so it was a great time for her, and she was just out playing checkers.
That's not you don't never see that in like the ads for I'm Your Venus. It's never just
no
fellas shaving the beard.
But what was fun because my mum went in to see her and she was shaved. She was like, and my aunt like had to go with my mum, being like, "Why didn't you shave me earlier? Made me fuck going around like this now." She's like, "Yeah, I thought it was probably been."
I'm sitting here looking like fucking Duck Dynasty.
Yeah. No, but the only thing was it didn't go so high, so she's still the sideburns like Naughty Holder. But that's another thing I've heard too. Apparently, now again, I talk a lot of shit. To be fair, with my Jamaican fucking Guinness and whatnot. But I heard it somewhere that apparently there's a lot of like STDs and STIs kicking about nursing homes.
Really?
Because apparently a lot of them just fire in there, go in bareback mountain, just drilling everybody and not putting on the johnnies. Like,
I don't think they have the groin tenacity to wear anything though. Like you think of a 92-year-old dick, is it going to be able to withstand the Johnny going on it? Do you know what I mean? That's enough to fucking even with the Viagra. Plus, if you're going to pop a Viagra, like the minute it's up.
But what you could do is there's a life hack that I've just come up with there. If you put like a ladle underneath your hole, like nip it and set your dick on the ladle. Yeah. There you go. Then you'd have to put the ladle inside the woman as well, but
no. Not unless you want to stir anything.
Yeah. But the good thing is too, if you take out your teeth, there's a lot of dribble and drill. And the person there is lube.
Yeah. I wonder, just from the perspective of being like, I'm not particularly mobile today, could you take your dentures out, take the teeth out of them, and just give the blowj from a distance, so you can still watch the snooker? Yeah, but be like that, and like a fucking
I suppose like your man's duck emu. Yeah.
And just be like, let me know, and then every so often
I mean,
every so often just fondle the bag and.
But I would say
wait for the squirt.
Like that's not the world's nicest beige. Like if it's just teeth. Like if you're able to like.
That's what I'm saying. Take the teeth out of it and just it's like a gum job.
Oh God!
Just use the gums. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or I don't know. Could you? I suppose a flashlight's the closest thing to an orchestrated BJ tool.
I don't think any 92-year-olds ordering a flashlight when they, particularly like that generation of people, be like, why would I spend all that money when I can just fill that fucking lunchbox with gallon, steam it, and just.
I know, because that's the thing, because they're only eating snowballs and grapes. Yeah. Like just all the ham's not going to waste.
Yeah, they just sort of roast a ham and then just under it they've got a bacon tray just like full of slur and steam it for Christmas. Yeah, stinking. But no 92-year-olds, that generation are not spending money on things that they know they can make themselves.
Yeah, true. I mean, how classic would it be? Because an old man, like whenever we bought our house, there was an old couple that lived in it, and I just went up and told them we're buying the house. But he had like stuff in the garage, like it was a proper wee man's garage. Like he's got like a vice, and he's lit it. You could see like tools. He had a cage and stuff and some chains. It was good. Yeah. But like the old boys will bounce out their shed and just come out with like a rocking chair. You know what I mean? So if you could say to a few of the boys, all you do is put stick a polytunnel outside the back of the fold. Yeah. And just head out and come out with a homemade flashlight. You know? Yeah.
If you had to, speaking of someone who has kids and a mortgage and stuff, cost of living crisis. If you had to make your own flashlight now.
I had to make one?
No, I'm not saying have you. That's TMI.
She's my homemade flashlight. I just say to her, listen, hold this, turn the light on your phone and hold it above your head. That's my flashlight right there. So disrespectful. Oh, the thing about it is, me and her had an argument today. And we mightn't be friends by the time this episode comes out, and she'll listen to this and she'll hate me even more. Yeah. Or she'll go, he's alright.
Keith, isn't he cute? But if you had to make a flashlight over stuff that's currently in your house, you're not allowed to buy anything.
That's a hard one. Like, you know what would I do? You'd have to scavenge for a bit. Look about. I mean, I'd probably go for batteries first, but then that's that's overconfidence in my ability to construct.
What would you need the batteries for?
To make it beige.
Yeah.
whatever tool I make has to go from. Like, I'm not making a flashlight, as I'm making basically a mini car wash from a dick. Just gonna topple it around to make me feel alive. I don't know. Well, you've inspired me to go straight to the fridge.
Yeah.
But what I know is in there, the girls love eating quiche. So there's a crustless quiche in there. That would be quite similar.
Yeah.
Feeling, I would say, to a fash.
Yeah.
Crustless quiche.
Especially if your wife's called Lorraine.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll get us a couple of slices of ham, a quiche.
What sort of, are you talking like ham hock or waffles?
No, it's like slices of ham.
Slices.
So that's what we'll do. We'll get the quiche Lorraine. We'll break it up into a jam jar. And then just put the slices of ham on top. And then maybe just, when you're draining the brine off a tuna, and just sort of dip the wee brush in. And just use the brine, not the full tuna, just brine the ham. Yeah.
Brine the ham and then air fry it or steam it or slow cook or.
Oh, it doesn't.
You want a bit of heat in there?
No, I'd set it on the windowsill.
On a good day, like a day like today.
And just let the sun come in on it.
Aye, you could bake a cake and leave it out today. Like that's that sort of weather, isn't it?
I mean, you wouldn't mind eating that out. It'd be pretty delicious.
I would eat it clean in.
But I did have this homemade flashlight, but I had it.
But you do want a wee bit of heat to it, but flash fry, but then it will lose the heat very quickly.
Yeah, true. What you could do is maybe put like a hard boiling egg.
Yeah.
Put it in it, so it's the heat from within.
You could do that. Residual heat.
Yeah, but then if you went too far, I mean, this is very hopeful because my dick reached in the bottom of the jam jar. But if you go right in, you're burning your bell off a boiled egg.
Yeah,
that sounds like something Dr. Seuss would write. He burned his bell on a boiled egg. But at least they cured a smeg.
Would you let it rest, or the minute it's out of the oven,
no, you gotta let
it rest. Let it rest twice the time you cooked it. Like you have to wrap it and bake it and protect it.
Oh, actually, that's a good one. I didn't think of those. You know what you could use? Cellophane. Yeah, I would have a nice feeling. I would stop the rain getting all, because the quiche Lorraine have wee chunks, wee bits of hog on it.
Yeah.
You don't want wee fucking lumps of ham up your bloody belly.
No, you probably wouldn't, no.
Nah.
Now you've said it out loud. I'm like, no, I probably wouldn't want.
But do you ever bite into like a bit of pizza or into like a quiche or something and you're like, oh, this is nice, but when it hits the top of your mouth, the skin's gone.
It's burny.
Yeah, see that cheese and sauce and all. You wouldn't want to.
It's too burny.
And you have to go to the doctors and be like, Woody told me I should go home and make my own flashlight.
Be creative. It could be. It's nice to have a project, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a show, isn't there, like Sex ER or Sex Pain?
Sex ER is, would that be like a medical thing?
It's like where people go to the hospital, accident and emergency from sex injuries.
Yeah.
And there's a guy burnt his dick on something that could have been a flashlight.
Yeah.
Because I think you're supposed to. I mean, I don't know if it's true.
Stuck his dick in a Pop-Tart.
Yeah. Well, the ultimate fire.
Don't worry, I feel bad now if you even bring that up. For every lad, just be like,
yeah.
And you always hear those like horror stories about Pop-Tarts where they're like, your kids just eat them straight from the toaster and the jam just drips down their chin and burns them. Just
I look like a serpent lord from like fucking
Harry
Potter.
You look like you're in a system up and down.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. You can't just stop your kids having fun, can you?
No, unfortunately.
You gotta let them burn themselves. You gotta let them learn.
They have to learn the hard way. That like, because I even found with Jonah at the minute, because he's eating solids now. He's far too casual sometimes. He's quite a relaxed baby, and you're like, you're choking though. So a bit of urgency, absolutely.
And what sort of things he's eating at the minute?
Everything so far. We like Lisa's kind of taking point on the whole thing, and it's just everything. Most solids. He's eating wee bits of meat recently, a bit of chicken.
Would he eat a bit of quiche?
Well, as long as you don't get it from your house, then yeah, certainly.
I might get into homemade quiche. See what we can do with that.
You can provide the crust hand enough.
Yeah.
So. But I eats everything. It's good, but it's just like, he has to learn how to move stuff around in his mouth, and swallow, and he's been far too casual, and he just looks at you and starts choking.
Does he roll his teeth?
They're coming through, and it looks like a good few of them are coming through at the one time.
Has he ever got you with that? Has he ever got you with
that? No, we got Lisa the other day though, and she was like, it was quite painful.
Yeah, it's sore like. Like I was at Rhythm and Rhyme with Matilda a couple of weeks ago with my mum. Rhythm and Rhyme's just a thing I go to in the library. It's a good time. They do all the wee nursery rhymes and all, and then rhythm. Just I just
you just have a dance.
Guinness,
How was Jamaican Guinness? Just put on UB40.
But there was one of the songs is about like a crocodile or alligator biting you. Or no, that's a malar. it's about that little finger.
It's a Jamaican crocodile.
Yeah, it's a Jamaican crocodile. Yeah, we all know they're Jamaican alligators, but
Yeah.
it's, you know, which little finger did he bite? This little finger on my right. And my mum was there, and she went to Matilda, which little finger did he bite? This little finger on my right. And she,
Oh, really?
and my mum goes, fucking shit, like that. And she pulled her hand out, she's like this, and then she goes to me, I didn't swear there, did it? And I went, you fully went, fucking shit, like across the rhythm and rhyme classroom.
Yeah.
So, but it was one of the funniest moments of my life, I think, because my mum genuinely didn't expect the pain of the bite.
Yeah.
But she got full teeth, like big chompers on her.
I like when you see people break character. Do you know what I mean? Or particularly like you were speaking about old woman there. I don't know if I told you this. It was in Ormo Park a couple of weeks ago, and in the distance saw like 3 old women just chatting, and naturally just assuming 3 old women in the park during the day just chatting about lovely tea, roaches, snowballs, grapes, blouses, their own wake, things like that. And I swear, knowing you just walk past someone and catch a snippet of the conversation, and you almost want to go back and be like, the fuck? What are you saying there? I swear to God, this weird woman just said, I swear to fuck, that dog has me up all night shitting. Think about it. Yeah. Think about it.
Is she up all night doing
exactly.
The shitting?
Who's doing the shitting? Who's shitting in that scenario? I'm trying to think, if the dog's shitting and keeping her up, stop letting her use the ensuite.
Yeah.
Marade. You know what I mean? But if it's her shitting, how's the dog impacted her shitting?
Maybe the dog's giving her anxiety.
Yeah.
And he's just threatening her. He's a real rough bastard. Rough bastard. And she's just like terrified of him. All night shading him.
Yeah, it's like Cujo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a proper... Cujo is a funny, that's a Jamaican name, isn't it?
Yeah, Cujo is. He was a big Jamaican St. Bernard, wasn't he? A big San Bernard.
Cujo was a famous Jamaican snooker player.
Yeah. But he was like bad Beethoven, wasn't he, Cujo?
He was basically Beethoven, but
was it the same actor? Rascal. Was Cujo Beethoven, I wonder?
Do you call them actors if it's animals?
Oh, aye. It's 2023. You have to respect everything.
Get an Oscars and all.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, he was played by Daniel Day-Lewis, I think, Cujo.
Andy Serkis was the dog caller.
Yeah. Andy Serkis. Falling out with him at the minute.
Andy Serkis?
Yeah. I watched the Luther film on Netflix, didn't like it.
I did not hear good things about that.
Stupid.
I don't look back. I quite liked Luther, but then I was like, the last couple of parts of it just got weird before. I haven't seen the film, but it started so good, and then it kind of lost the run of itself.
Yeah,
for me.
I think that has happened with a lot of shows. Like happened Line of Duty as well. That whole thing about finding out the H guy, and it was like, that was shit.
Well, again, a spoiler alert, I suppose, but obviously the revelation as to who Hitch was when there was a couple of seasons of real build up, and there was so much fan.
Sorry, H was?
H or Hitch, who gives a shit? Ian Buckles was the guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But I think it's that classic thing is the internet got so speculative about the whole thing. There were so many fan theories that it was never going to live up.
Yeah.
And then also I hated it, and then when I thought about it, I was like, I like the fact that it was just some idiot.
Yeah.
That was just being molded by everybody else. Like, so he was so sort of like stupid that even though he was technically like the brains behind the operation, he didn't really know. So when you questioned him, he was probably just like, I think so.
Yeah.
So he was the head of the company, but he was being worked by people below him.
But then there's more to come, isn't there? So he's just a puppet.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any confirmation, but there's been rumours that they'll do another season, which I think they might have to, because the last season didn't really blow a lot of people away, even though I liked it. But I could see why people still are seething about it. But I hope that they don't milk it too much and do like prequels and spin-offs and stuff like that there. Oh, was that your wedding ring off? That's harsh.
Yeah, because we had a fight, fucker. We're not friends. Yeah.
I don't want to watch like any spin-offs of Line of Duty. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're on a boat, stand on Line of Duty. I'm not watching.
I mean, stand on Line of Duty. I'd watch it.
Wet coppers, mate.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What sexual connotations is it?
Oh, I see.
Bent coppers and wet coppers.
Yeah.
Hard coppers.
If there's a pornographic line of booty.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. It's just a lot of people bent over, and it's Adrian Dunbar reprising his role and just busting nuts. And then every time he busts, he just shouts out a fucking Northern Irish viral phrase. Do you know what I mean? Go low for hard boot.
Oh, just ever. That's a bit more Protestant now. Whoa, on you go.
I'll come up your leg and we a bubble.
Oh no! Then you're blowing a bubble. shagging, wagging, lagging. Nah. I'm not on today. I'm not on with my comedy.
This isn't recording anyways here.
No, thank God for that. Listen, but it's been good to have you back. I don't know. It's a weird one to ask because obviously, we could do it privately and have just a chat. But your break. All good now. Glad to be back. What's the story?
Basically, just everything that happened last year in that 1 week. I won't say like. It wasn't a breakdown, but I got so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
When there's so much going on in your head, you can't really speak properly.
Yeah.
So even like, yourself when you have a baby, it's sometimes there's situations where you need to be reasonably on the ball.
Yeah.
I just couldn't like articulate it all. It was very, very strange to be like. I knew everything that Lisa was saying to me, and I know if she was saying something like, "Will you just go grab the nappies?" There was just something in my head that was just like, I know where they are. And I didn't know what to do. I was just standing still, and it was like it wasn't there. It was very strange. And between that, and then I was still doing the driving lessons, and it was literally a week before my test. And my driving instructor was very nice about it. Was just like, "How do you feel about this test?" And I was like, "I don't feel good about this at all," because I wasn't feeling good about fucking anything. And he was like, he essentially was like, "We should take a break then for a wee bit. Maybe cancel your test because you'll not get charged." So in a very funny way, I did get dumped by my driving instructor.
Yeah.
Like we had to take a break for a while. Just going out, we're not going the same direction anymore. Or the relationship's not going anywhere, and you're like, you can't get out of second gear, so we're not really going anywhere in the relationship. So it was very simple. It was just like, let's just take everything away, bar obviously the day job, just keep the dosh rolling, just keep it very simple, just simplify. I mean, don't just stop the driving lessons for a couple of months. Stop comedy, even though I feel good about going away, but at the same time I did miss it.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I just like sort of took everything away and then slowly but surely just added it back in when I felt ready. I've rung like the NHS to get like some sort of like mental health help.
Yeah.
But it's like you get a telephone consultation, and then I was told it'll be about 12 weeks before the ball's rolling.
Yeah.
In that respect. But like, no, they've offered me like medication all in the meantime, which I've said nah, because I don't want to be reliant on that shit. Because I feel like I have that personality to be like, I would be reliant on it, and if for whatever reason, if I didn't have it, I would just be like when Ned Flanders eventually loses the BAP in The Simpsons and just shouts at everybody. I feel like that would be me. That's why like people are like, you should try CBD and stuff, and again, I'm like, nah, I would need it. Sleeping, like, if people have trouble sleeping, they take sleeping pills. Fuck me, I don't know what would happen if I took those in general. Yeah. I would just be always like, no, I need them. So like, I've tried to just run a wee bit, and you yourself just take everything back, simplify it. And then it was good because we were saying before we started, like, I was worried about the comedy break because I was like, I'm going to come back having had a reasonable rhythm. There was the only thing that wasn't suffering was the stand-up side of things. But then because I wasn't really being present in the house, even though I was there, but I was just struggling to really be on the ball, and it's not that it wasn't helping out, but it wasn't particularly, I wasn't sharp. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, I can't be out doing gigs, but said Lisa, well, I'm struggling with my routine and stuff like that there, so you just have to strip everything back. But again, I was glad to take the break, but I was worried for a while that when I come back to comedy that I'll not be doing much, in terms of like spots, because why should I just go jump straight back into like being able to do libraries or people's podcasts and stuff? I know I've been doing it a long time, but that worried me and all a bit too. But again, I just took the break, which is not something that everybody says. Some people just would be like, no, you need to be, particularly as a comedian, you need to be always on your social media. You need to have content. You need to work hard and gig every night, and when you're getting it tight, just fucking suck it up and crack on, because you get a lot of fucking dark days, and even in our scene, which is outrageously good, and we're very lucky to be a part of, that we essentially started. God bless. You know what I mean? True. New people, bear that in mind. You know what I mean? Like, you're never really encouraged to take a break.
Yeah.
So when you do kind of worry. It's not normal to take a break, which isn't a good thing. You should be allowed to just focus on other shit. And
at the same time too, like, obviously with what you'd been through, it's such a varying degree of emotion, from like obviously the lowest you can be to the highest you can be.
That's the strange part about it. I was thinking about that. You hit the nail on the head there, where it was like, usually when people have like serious mental health issues, it's usually this downward spiral of negativity with like I lost the job and then no money and then couldn't afford to live in the house, had to move back home, and it's just this negative. But I had very negative and very positive.
Yeah.
And then obviously just very sort of intense sort of introduction to parenthood, because when Lisa was pregnant I was away visiting my dad, so it was like an intensive driving course of parenthood, you know what I mean, where you just go in going, I know nothing. I knew basically like, oh, I know they use your elbow to test the water for if it, or your milk if it's too warm, but we had a prep machine, so that was futile. And I knew like you had to hold their neck and stuff for the first while because they can't hold that up. That's all I knew. I didn't know how to change nappies or.
But like I think that's the thing with it too, is like you said there, people always assume that if you've got depression or whatever, you know, it's like a spiral of bad things. Sometimes you can still feel it even when things are going all right.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
The biggest thing that was an eye-opener for me whenever I was maybe struggling a bit was that there's chemical things going on inside your body you can't control, you know, so you need to like look at doing things to try to, you know, reduce your level of anxiety, whether that's through medication or through, like you say, running or doing other things. It's hard. And like whenever I had my lowest ebb was whenever we moved house, I changed job, we got pregnant, we were planning on getting married, you know, so it's just so many big life events all at once that you try to kind of put a lid on and be like, oh, it's all good, and then it just comes a point that there's only so much you can keep saying it's all good when it isn't.
Yeah, I think it's harder to for the male in the side of thing, and this isn't like slagging, but particularly when the baby comes in, it's almost like something you're not supposed to say, that you're tired or you're overwhelmed as well when the baby arrives, because you're never as tired or overwhelmed as your wife is, of course, but that doesn't mean that you're not feeling. But there's something about not being able to really express that, because you're like, well, you think you're tired, she's fucking done 16 hours of labour, and you're like, well, I was still there for those 16 hours. And
like that's something that I think we need to maybe think about more, is like you shouldn't ever be in a competition with your partner, you know what I mean, and like we've had these arguments before, and it frustrates me, because it's like I'm never wanting it to be a competition. If like you're tired, you be tired, I can still be tired. Just because you're tired and I'm tired doesn't mean that I'm trying to say I'm more tired than you.
Exactly.
Whereas that sometimes is the case, and like obviously having the baby, like being a guy, that's a sweet end of the bargain. You know, you don't have to actually grow and push a baby out your bum, like, you know. So it's like that's a big thing. But at the same time, I don't know about you, but the first few days whenever Holly was born, I didn't know like what was happening, like, and we had no structure to people coming to visit, so for the first couple of days people were just coming at all times, so I felt like people were coming in, you know, you're putting on the fucking teas and coffees and all, and you bring that out, you're cleaning it, more people are coming, you're just on the go. I didn't sleep really for the first 3 days. It was like just looking at her being like, just stay alive, you know,
exactly, that's absolutely it.
And it's like a lot to just and like when you have a kid, you just go, right, well, I guess I'm a full, this is all that I have to be responsible for. I'm a full adult. I can't just, there's no kind of hiding. This is it.
Yeah. And
sometimes you're not ready for it, but you have to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have this person in your house that's fully reliant on you, like literally can't do anything without yourself or your wife being there. So it's a lot of pressure. And then it's just a matter, as you say, it's acknowledging the shit that you're sort of extremely anxious over and just being like, well, do something about it. The same way, like, if you get a fucking verruca, get cream, or if you break your leg, go see somebody about it. But it's almost like it's such a man thing too, to be like, nah, it's all right, I'm just fucking. But,
I think you get into that mode too, like with whenever you have kids or whatever, you're like the doer, you know, you're the kind of the your wife's probably the brains of things, and you're like the carrying the ball, and you're the organizer almost, and you know, it's sometimes you can't. Like, did you find whenever it got to a breaking point with your mental health, that did you speak about it, or was there a catalyst, or what was did you find that whenever you did speak about it, you felt like a relief, like a weight off your shoulder, actually sharing that?
I don't know, it was very strange. I think particularly like whatever happened, I don't know, again, I felt very misguided in that I thought I was killing it. I thought I was like, you know what, I'm doing right. Like, I was still doing stand-up, all the gigs were going very well, and I was being asked to do more gigs and more paid stuff and longer sets, and I was like, I'm doing this, and then I still have a day job, and I was doing really well at that. And then I felt, particularly in terms of the home life, that I was doing well, because I was doing driving lessons twice a week because I had the test booked, so that was Monday nights and Saturday nights. And I was like,
mental time to do driving lessons on Saturday night, by the way.
I know, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I was like, I'm killing this, and I was still like doing the feeds, you know what I mean, whenever I could, because I was working during the day. But on my lunch break and all, I'd, take them and I would change them and stuff. But it was just, it's not that it wasn't enough, and like Lisa wasn't going, you're not doing anything, but she was just like, you're forgetting all the basic things, because there was so much in my head. So that's why even in terms of driving lessons, he was like, go to third gear, and I was just like, huh? And I knew in my head how to do it. I was like, you ding ding, clutch in, all that stuff, but I just couldn't do it. And then there was a point in where I was so anxious about things, where I was going, this was the darkest I've got a level with. This was a brutal couple of days. When you're like thinking stuff isn't true at all, but you can't get out of your head. So I was going, there was a point where I was like thinking about what happened to me and my dad, and I was going, what if that happens to him? What if I get ill at any stage in my life? What if he has to do that? Yeah. So I was going, get that out of your head for a fucking start. He's 8 months. So then I got it into my head too that I can't get injured ever in case he has to come see me and he gets upset. So that's why when I was driving, he was like, can you go to third? This is on the motorway. Yeah. Go to third and then go to fourth. We're down near, I can't remember what the place is called, but there's like a Sainsbury's and stuff. Forest side or something it would be, yeah. And it's a 40 zone, so you can go to fourth, and can leave second. I don't make too fast. What if something happens? Yeah, which I suppose is a sentiment you always have when you're driving. Yeah, but I was going, it's a very strange way to go. You can't get injured. Yeah, ever. So even when I was like walking to work, that I do one day a week in the office, I was like, it was taking me ages to cross the road because I couldn't. Like sort of certain places, you're like, can't wait for the green man, or there's no traffic lights, but you just have to cross. And I was like, took me ages. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like walks that take me say 20 minutes to get to work was taking me like 45 because I couldn't stop looking, because I've like, you can't injure yourself ever. Yeah. Which is obviously a stupid thing to think. Do you know what I mean?
Like, it's weird because I don't think I've had that since I've had kids. But see, when Catherine was pregnant with Holly, coming back from like Oma from gigs, I would be like, I'm just staying in the inside lane and I'm going as slow as I want. Oh yeah, and I was getting myself from A to B, and it was taking me. But I was that because like I wanted to meet this child. Yeah.
Then there's part of me that was like, Lisa, like I've always had serious like anxiety about things, but it's always just, like our generation grew up where mental health wasn't a thing. Yeah. It just wasn't. You were a bit rare. Yeah. Or he's just a bit shy or something. Yeah. It was never really acknowledged. I feel like when I was younger, because it wasn't a thing. Whereas now, thankfully, it is, where I was just like, it's always been a thing, and it just got worse and worse and worse over the years. Comedy, in a weird way, has made it a wee bit worse.
Yeah, well, definitely, because, I mean, there's, like, with comedy, there's the stupid paranoia of it all, too. Yeah. The stuff that you can't help but feel, like, is so-and-so getting this, am I not good enough, or are they, are they, like, conspiring against me, and blah, 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 like, you definitely...
It's horrible. Even, like, because I have imposter syndrome in every respect as well. And then, obviously, I'm very lucky that there is some people that know I do comedy, just being associated with all you boys. It's just kind of being on podcasts and stuff. No, I can't, like, that got to me as well, because I felt like if I was just out and about, like, I needed to be, like, sound to everybody. And not that I'm a dickhead, but I just felt under pressure in case someone was like, I saw Ruairi Woods in a fucking Cafe Nero and he was rude to the staff, or didn't tip, or, something stupid like that. And then the imposter side of things, where I'm just going, I don't know why, people are asking for a photo, and I don't know why I'm being asked to do this particular gig, and you know what I mean. But it's shit. You just like, you can't control what goes on in your head. You just have to try and do stuff to at least avoid it.
And do you find now that you've sort of dealt or are dealing with it a bit? Is the load lightening?
Oh, very much so. Like, I just try and be proactive about it. Like, it's weird. I'm like embarrassed talking about it, but I know it's not an embarrassing thing. But I do feel like. Yeah. But again, I suppose for men it's still somewhat taboo. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. To an extent, it's got a lot. It's vastly better. But
I wouldn't say it's taboo as such.
That's probably a wrong choice of word. Yeah.
But I would say that as a man, it's still like no matter what, you still feel that you shouldn't feel the way you feel.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you then associate that with a weakness of some description. So if you're like you think like what's wrong with me? Am I broke? Like I shouldn't feel like this. Yeah. I should be like the fucking pillar of strength. I should always be the strong one for everyone else. And sometimes you just aren't. Yeah. And again, that's not to say that you won't be. again. And like I had a bit of a rough time a few weeks ago, and it only lasted maybe about 3 days, but I knew it was coming. It was like, and I just like had to, but I've had that before, thankfully, that I know how to deal with it. Now again, if it ever got to the point where it was really bad, I would, consider taking medication for it. Like, because again, similar to yourself, whenever I went to the doctor about it, he had said to me, like, you need to take this, however it won't kick in for about like 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. And
strange.
But like whatever drug you take, it'll only really start working. And at that time, I was about 6 weeks away from getting married, and I was like, I don't want to be, on my wedding day,
that's a bit
just
risky, isn't it?
taking antidepressants, whatever. So it didn't.
Plus, if you take a bad reaction to it too, or just it affects you in a different way, and you don't want to be borderline zany.
Because that's another thing too, that a different medication Catherine was talking about. She's like, if you did that, it might like dull your creativity a bit. It might shut off a wee part of your.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't need any help to be less creative than I already am. Like, so it's weird, but to me, like, I think I got a lot out of talking about it, and I definitely felt like even talking about it on, like, probably in Boytown, I think we spoke about it when I was like right at the height of the struggles with Matilda and coming to dad and all that shit. And just getting it out there, I was like, oh, you know what, that's cool. And I think like a lot of people do kind of relate to it. And again, if they're not hearing people talking about it, they don't see it, you feel a bit more kind of alone. So I think, obviously speaking about it, it's a good thing.
It's a strange, like it's an inherently very brave thing to do. And I know people go like, oh, if it's just on social media, because that's all I did was just do a very quick wee Insta post, I believe, just a couple of photos, just like summing up the last couple of weeks and on why I'd been away, I've never got as many messages in my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? From people just going, fair fucks, and hope you're feeling better, or I've been through stuff like that. And then you do kind of go like, everybody's fucking, everybody's anxious. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody's got some sort of thing.
But see, I think too, with being a comedian, like, I don't think, like, some people be like, oh, you have to be a narcissist. I don't agree with that. Yeah. But again, I don't know why we do it. It's just a fun thing you enjoy doing. But people sometimes, whenever you do comedy, they like expect, like it's all just laugh, all crack, all this, and sometimes you have to, like, maybe you do feign it a bit, you do sort of pretend, like a couple of weeks ago when I was just having a miserable time. I remember going on at a gig and I just didn't want to be there, like, to be honest, I just did not want to be there. I was headlining and didn't want to do it, but then I'm like, well, it's my job, I need to do it, the fucking mortgage to pay, I need to buy quiche Lorraine and slices of ham, like. But I remember going on, and it was the first time
got a macro, like bulk buying.
Yeah, like, listen, get me sorted. But I remember just before my name got called out, doing this weird thing where I was like, I scrunched my face up, I was like, right, let's go, and it was like literally different person, and I did the set, and I came off, I was like, whoa. Yeah. And I was like, right, I need to cheer up here.
Yeah, that's the thing too, about the fact that, as a comedian, you have an act, and like myself, and I've to the extent to yourself as well, there's like faces and there's physicality, and not some comedians will just stand there and just deliver material, whereas I would say us two, and I don't know who else, but we're definitely more physical. Yeah, it sounds wild wanky, but I do a lot of faces, and like if you ever see pictures of me from like comedy club gigs, you see other acts and they're standing with a mic, and then there's me just dumb faces and stuff, and then when I come off stage and it's not like that, it must seem like I'm even more miserable because I've been flapping about pretending to be a fucking T-Rex and doing like smick faces and voices, and
because that's what I get about the kids sometimes. It's been annoying me a wee bit, but like obviously I talk shit about them on stage because it's funny to me, but I had someone say to me, you're a terrible dad, and I was like, but I'm absolutely not. I was like, you're a terrible person saying it. Do you have any kids? And they're like, no. And I was like, well, then fuck up. Yeah. But it's like I actually think that's part of the fun, is that I know that I can say what I say about my kids and my wife because I know I'm great with them,
Exactly,
so it frees you a bit. But I do think, like, when you're a comedian, there's pressure on you that maybe you put on yourself that you don't like. With the whole social side of things, the social media and the content and the posting, like, it's got a wee bit, like, kind of shit where, like, you have to, everyone's like looking to record their sets, not to watch them back and go, how can I improve the sets, like, how can I get a clip and put it up, and like a lot of clips you're seeing, crowd work stuff, you're looking at it going, why, this is shit, why
put that up?
But again, people are now like, it's all about algorithms, so you're trying to impress this computer basically, and it's like, just if you keep working on your set, the comedy's good, it'll be grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just what ultimately, because there are people who have maybe done big things online. You go watch them do an hour stand up and you go, fuck's this shit. You know?
Yeah, like I don't do a lot of the online stuff. I've had an idea for a while that I still haven't pulled the trigger with, and it might do well, it might not.
Yeah.
But I do think it's funny. So that's the main category. Is like I think it's funny, and if it doesn't do well, grand. But even if 30 people watch it, like that is good. I'm like, sweet.
But then it's like, what is the point of you doing it? You know what I mean? It's like you need to do it because you're getting something out of it. You know what I mean? If you like the people who put stuff up to try and get the viral video or the people that likes. You know, you're searching for something that ultimately you're trying to please somebody rather than putting up something that you think's funny. Oh, yeah. And hopefully, you know, if you think something's funny, you put it out, it'll do the numbers organically or even slowly. You know what I mean? And there's nothing to say you can't put out and build something, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's the thing about the scene at the minute here is that you almost are expected to be doing like just clips all the time, and it's not like, again, I just want to do stuff that's funny, and you know, I don't have a podcast anymore. I have an idea for one, and when I have the means, I'll probably do it. But it's not like, you know, you do feel under pressure. But like, I also have to have a podcast, and I need to have a successful character that I can do videos for, and I can do, you know, do loads and loads of stuff. And I have TikTok every day, and I have to have a tweet about everything, and I'm like, I just don't. It's just not me, and I don't have the time anyway.
Do you ever see some stuff like, see nowadays, like when celebrities die, and you see almost it's like hack to see comedians posting something not that funny, but just quick, get it out there. Yeah. You know, and you're like, shut up. Yeah. Like this year, like I think I got a bit pissed off with life last year with comedy and whatever, and I thought, you know what, people are doing so many things the same. Like, if you're doing the same sort of, if your clips all look the same as other people, you're all doing the same stuff, people will gravitate to probably the more known comedians rather than you look like you're imitating them a bit. And I think now for me it's like, you know what, I'm going to do my own stuff. I'm going to do my own solo show this year. I'm not going to do a tour to all the same places as everyone else. I'll do it my own way and see if that's a bit different, like independently, so to speak, and just see how it works. And honest to God, I think as a stand-up I've got way better this year, and I think as a draw I've noticed my numbers going up, and it's slowly, but it's not like, but that's what you want, you know, you want the numbers to creep up and stay. Rather than absolutely boost. So listen, I think we'll forever be in a world where we'll never think we're good enough, and we'll be stressed about it. But at the end of the day too, you know, your most important thing is not the stand up and the comedy, you know.
Exactly.
And like for you, it's you being back to being woodsy again, you know, feeling yourself, and hopefully
I'm feeling myself.
Long may it can continue. You know, listen, I'll get myself a spare jam jar.
We made
some jar for you, and we'll I'll maybe get you a bigger jar actually, if you know
those wee ones you get, like it's a wee tiny sort of.
Oh yes,
like a favour at a wedding.
Oh, the compots.
That's
quite literally
compots. That's what I would need for the size of my piece.
Yeah, I don't talk about my penis anymore because it's so sad. It is so.
Does it actually frown?
So listen, Christ.
Your wee dick holes.
So sad. Oh. Right, let's get some questions.
Did you get many? I put it up on my Instagram and got none. That's how lit my Instagram is.
Listen, who gives a fuck? Christopher wants to know. Question for Woodsy: you gonna get back into comedy more? Seems you've done a bit less in recent times.
Yeah, this guy has got his finger on the pulse. Well, here's a Christopher.
I heard a lot of good things about you, so quit your job to fuck and go do full-time comedy. Make another pod, do a joint one with Mickey or someone, and you're sorted. Alright, Christopher. Cheers.
Is that for you or me, sorry?
That's for you.
That's for me, Mickey. I'll give you a shout, bro. That guy's got his finger on the pulse. I was away.
And I'll tie this next one. Tony wants to know potential return for the Woodstock podcast.
Nah. Probably not. My main gripe with this, it wasn't different to what anybody else was doing. So why would I always loved the name. Yeah. I think like that was my mistake, because I had a really good name for a podcast, but fundamentally it was not really different to what any people are doing. You know what I mean? Not that I'm just like, well, why would anybody?
Fuck off, you. Fuck way back away. Fuck way off back in the security week.
I'm chatting prod, obviously. Prod Stewart. So I do have an idea for one that's more suited to the stuff I like talking about, but again, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing too: do what you want.
Exactly.
You know what I
mean? I did like it, but it just wasn't vastly different.
Sometimes a problem where people think they have to do something, and maybe it's not right for them, and then it's
again, once I have the means, again, if I wanted to do it, I wouldn't. When I was last doing it, it was like recording with people over Zoom, and the Zoom quality is not great for video or even audio, regardless of your equipment. I'd rather have like a studio setup at least, and do and get proper mics, and
like I
take it reasonably serious. If it's something I'm going to like put time into, and particularly with a kid and everything, I'd rather do it right instead of just going on Zoom with this person. And
because the podcast gets shit when you feel like you have to do them. When they become a slog, you're it's
exactly
bollocks. And like I found I had that a wee bit with the bonus podcast to do on Patreon, the extra Sly Guy podcast, is that it has kind of over time become what the original podcast was, just me doing stuff because I'm trying to figure out what's funny in my own head. And again, I succumb to the pressures of have guests because it helps with views and blah blah blah. And it's been doing well, but now I've got into the habit of doing the Monday podcast. I just love it because I feel like this is why I got into podcasting, was to do the audio only, just giving off about my week, silly stuff like that. And I feel now like I'm getting that, what I need from that, and then this is just a nice little icing on the cake, which is nice.
So you still do solo episodes?
Yeah, every Monday on patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast.
Yes, get on it.
Dom has said excited about this one, Davey, so he's excited to have you
Good
back.
Lad, Dom.
Woodsy is one of my favourites, smashing comedian. My question is a two-parter. One, please come and do my gig in Ards, and by the way, slide in again, Dom, with some dates, because I meant to get back to you before. I couldn't do the last one you'd asked me to pop into because of dates. And
is
also
Dom is somebody I know this fella,
Dom Doyle.
I don't think we met Dom, did I?
He looks like Hodor.
Does he?
You might have met him, yeah.
Might have met him.
But apologies, he said, when are you going to come get Catherine back in the podcast? Probably, we're going to split up now because we hate each other, so probably not now. But enjoyed the live Patreon episode, or enjoyed the Patreon episode, Catherine. Lastly, Sly Guy Live was simply superb, especially the part when you called me Hodor. Thank you, cum lord. I said he was sitting front row and he looked like if I had sex with Hodor.
Yeah. It's a beautiful image.
Which, it's just basically
hold that door.
Just Hodor.
Hold the back door.
Yeah, hold that back door.
Hold it agape.
But when I said it looks like me and Hodor mixed, it looks like just Hodor but not grey.
Yeah.
Which is me basically, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Winter is spunking.
Close.
Instead of winter is coming.
Yeah, coming does work. Yeah. So would you go do a gig in Ards?
I would certainly do a gig in Ards.
There you go. And then we'll do it. Just give me those dates. Let me see. Aaron has said, this is an interesting one. What are the funniest memories of each other? So
that was a cracking question.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's one to actually think about.
The funniest memories are, again, I don't even remember anything else happened, but the first time I met Purple Tiff.
Yeah. What was that? The
black box, and it was a charity gig that you set up for your mate.
That's the way to get around the tax man.
Yeah. And that was the first time I met Purple Tiff, which I assume is like I
don't think people really know Purple Tiff.
They don't know Purple Tiff?
No, all it was I think I just was drinking a bit of red wine and listen, whenever the red wine goes in, the truth comes out.
Yeah, and you just became a completely different entity.
Listen, I was just a wild man altogether.
Do you remember how we first met?
No, do you?
I believe this is when we first met, the charity football thing.
Could have been, because I remember
you were drafted in like last minute as the keeper, and I remember you getting in the car.
Yeah,
I think it's the first time I ever met you.
I was great that day. I played really well.
I think I was at your first gig, wasn't it?
You were like a scud for me for so long. Like it got to the point when you were at a gig, I was like, oh fuck's sake, this guy.
Yeah.
Because anytime you were there, I ate shit, and then when you eat shit in front of people, you think they think you're so shit, and then that just makes it worse. Like. Happened to me recently with Roe Boyle. He was on up at Kiwis, and I was headlining and I didn't do well. And then I maybe didn't see him again for years.
Yeah.
And I did his boiler room, didn't I? Fucking wrecked the place.
Yeah.
So it was alright. Got him back on side.
Yeah.
But for that whole time, he thinks I'm so shit, and then I need to show this guy what I'm about. That's what I had with you. But now, unfortunately for you, I was so shit, and it took me so long to figure out what the shit I was talking about. And it was fucking wild. But my favourite moments are the times whenever we all end up in the pints, which is too few and far between. To me, that's the funniest times, whenever you're in a bar, locked, having the crack.
Yeah.
The Lavery's Christmas dues were always great for
They were brilliant. even like that stag I was on recently, you feel like, because we're all of a certain age, there's some people have kids and some people are married, some people don't, but the achievement is just all sitting in the bar together.
Yeah.
Because you do get certain people that are like, oh, should we maybe book an activity or something? Like, you can if you want.
Nah.
I'm not partaking in fucking an escape room.
Yeah. I mean, see if I'm on a stag do and I want to escape, I'll boot through the door and just go, right, let's escape to the pub.
But surely the idea is sitting in a pub that does arguably the best Guinness you'll ever have, and there's like 13 of us just chatting shite and reminiscing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the achievement.
Yeah.
Surely. You know what I mean? Because
no,
you realise
absolutely.
as you get older, if it's not a wedding or a wake or a funeral, there are not going to be no pints.
No.
Not on the reg, anyway. Like.
No. And not that you can just get away with, like,
Yeah. You can't just go and just, but I come for a pint. Aye. Do you know what I mean? It's few and far
I
between.
won't have a pint now. I've had 2 today anyway.
Davey 2 pints.
John Joe wants to know, are we going to see an hour from the Woodman this year?
Yeah.
Yo, yes.
Not a new one, but it's. I want to do Out of the Woods one more time. In most likely Lavery's that has been offered to me, and then I want to do a couple of things in the Sunflower called Back at It, which is basically just me learning, like getting back into stand up properly. So Darren Matthews is helping me facilitate that, and I'll have some wee guests and just do like a wee headline set of old, new, and very very old stuff and stuff from other shows, and just kind of have the crack. And then I'm tentatively thinking about trying to do a thing in the big limelight, a big charity cancer fundraiser with all the buys.
Nice.
I haven't pitched that to you boys yet, but
listen, I will do it, because that one you're talking about, Purple Tooth, where we did, we actually were able to make a real difference with that money, with the young boy, and I see him kicking about now with his mum and dad, and it really just makes me happy. Yeah, you know? That's
unreal.
Because it was he needed specialist treatment and he had to travel for it.
Yeah,
and you know, us talking shit. Like, it's the thing that annoys me too sometimes, when people are giving off about diversity sometimes and other things. Like, you got a bit of that about it, and it's like, hey, we're literally giving money for a little
for
boy
the worst thing that can happen to a person. Yeah,
and it's always weird too, like, because we do talk a lot of shit, and that's what our job is. Yeah, but it's nice when you can actually do it for a good reason too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
listen,
there will be,
count me in.
There will be stuff from me, and then the next hour is being sort of crafted at the minute, but it'll be a while for that, because there's not a lot to craft at the minute.
So what they're saying is keep an eye on Woodsy. There's stuff coming out.
Yeah, there will be. It. Just follow me on Insta, and
what's your handle on Insta?
Ruairi Woods Comedy.
There you go.
Original. That sort of sketch idea that I've had for a couple of years now, I might pull the trigger on quite soon. I would need Aaron of House Butler to facilitate, and if it does well, there is actually room for a follow up with yourself, Aaron, and Kieran Bartlett.
Nice.
If that's the way it went, I have to finish off.
Well, Joe's being very cheeky. His first question is, no, I'm not going to read out, because there's enough drama going on in this scene right now without stoking the fires.
Yeah.
But he's also asked, where have you been? But we've covered that. You know, you've been away. You're back. You're
working on myself.
You're putting your both feet, jumping right into stand up again.
I've never knocked lavender on me.
And Joe's also asked, why does Jordan Robinson bath twice a day? And I think he just enjoys a bath.
He just loves it. Nothing wrong with that. Being clean is good.
Always washing, always clean.
Yeah.
Natalie says, question for Rory. Do you go by Rory or Rory?
It's technically Rory.
Well, I call you Rory then.
Although to be fair, like it's usually Woodsy, so a lot of people forget my first name.
Yeah, it's Rory.
Including like very close mates that are like, oh,
yeah. See, I just call you Woodsy.
Yeah,
you know, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
Well, see, like when the time comes, if say you don't check the road 7 or 8 times before you cross, you get struck down, would you get Ruairi Woods on your gravestone, or would you get Rory Woodsy?
Ruairi Woodsy Woods.
Yeah. Woodsy Woods.
Woodsy Woods, yeah.
A classic character from Grange Hill or something.
Yeah, it definitely does, doesn't it? Yeah. I definitely think like Woodsy Woods on the gravestone. Well, not even have the first name, just for people like, is that his real fuck? Woodsy Woods?
That would be
like, is that really it?
That'd be such a great
That'd be like you being called Elliot. Yeah. Like, he loved E.T. Holy fuck.
Yeah, Elliot Woodsy Woods.
And he also, so Gaddis.
Yeah.
Bartlett. McCann. Which sounds like a catchphrase, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like a Lily Savage or Cilla Black.
It sounds something Fred Elliott would say in Corey. McCann. Yeah. But yeah, the Gaddis is... Gaddis. Gets Gaddis, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mickey's Bartlett. Mickey
Kieran's
Bartlett.
Kiri.
Yeah, Coyne.
Kieran Coyne calls himself Twank as well.
Yeah.
I've never.
No, I've never.
He's on my phone as Twank, but
Yeah.
I've never changed it.
I think he's on mine as Kieran Coyne.
And then McCann's McCann.
Yeah.
And you're
McCartney's McCartney.
McCartney's McKegney's McKegney. And
That'd be a hard question. What's all everyone's first name? Like fuck, James, Mark,
Colin.
I would like if Colin went to live
It's
in
all very
France.
like apostolic, isn't it? Like all the names of the apostles.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Good apostle names.
But I would like Colin. I think Colin the Apostle. But yeah, do you know the French for Colin is Claude? Claude.
Is it
I
really?
like him to change his name to Claude.
I thought like French would be Colon, and I was like, well, you can't have that. That's arse, isn't it?
Colon, arse, get it? That's if he's an Argentinian, yeah. Natalie says, question for Rory. He recently took a break from social media. Well, you know why I did it. We've covered that. Yeah. But I'd like to know how it benefited you.
Just nice knowing you can take a break from it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just having the principle of going, can I take a break from this and stick to it?
Yeah.
You know, like, even like usually I don't use Twitter for a lot of things, but a lot of football related stuff, which we'll not talk about.
That's what I like about. I mean, listen, after what we chatted about today, I don't think it's right to talk about Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. Spurs would actually continue.
Everything.
Yeah. I think we're kind of both Spurs and Arsenal fans. Like me more so than you, but yeah, I would respectfully. Yeah. I think you should be. At least we were never in contention to do anything.
But nobody thought Arsenal were going to win the league.
Oh, exactly. No, it's still. It's harsh to say it's a bit of a failure of a season, but you still will finish second. If worst case
Man
scenario,
City nearly spunked up against Fulham, so Brighton could beat them. Brentford could beat them. Chelsea could. No, that's
Brighton deserved to win the league the way they played, just based on like attractive football. They wrecked Wolves.
Yeah, we have to play Newcastle. I'm worried about that.
Newcastle, they thumped us.
Ruining people at the minute.
They're just. The thing is that hurt me as a Spurs fan about that defeat to Newcastle is a lot of the people who play for Newcastle now were rumoured to come to us, and we just were like, nah. Sven Botman, left-sided centre back, which we still need.
Yeah.
We turned him down. We could have got Nick Pope. He was signed for 10 million. They got the best. And then Kieran Trippier, we didn't take him back.
Yeah.
Bruno Guimaraes and Callum Wilson, we were all at one point going to pull the trigger on and never bothered. And you're like, for fuck's sake.
You got Richarlison. It's all right.
Got here, good goals. He's about 4 goals rolled out though.
Yeah, but then do you feel bad for him, or you're like, that's just typical? He scored that goal against Liverpool, and then they scored it straight away.
Yeah, that was Lucas Moura's fault, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Shite.
That was a bad pass. That one.
I would still consider, like, again, that this is not a season to judge anybody. You know, with a bit of stability, I'd like to see, particularly if I think Kane's going to go, so I think I would keep Richarlison, no sweat.
Well, would you not probably try and get big money for Kane and rebuild the team?
100%. But like,
who are you getting rid of?
Me personally, most of that squad.
Loris?
Yeah,
he's a bit.
Loris, Dyer, Sanchez, Sessegnon, Perisic, Højbjerg.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Son and Kane I would get rid of, because you have to think, if we want to get money, Son and Kane are the ones that bring in anything.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Højbjerg would get you decent though. He's good.
Again, maybe he's just overrun, but I think he's shit at the minute.
What about, and who, probably an easier question or a harder one, should I say? Who would you keep? Who are the ones you'd be like, let's build around this?
I still like Christian Romero, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Bissouma. I think we have to go back to like that 4-2-3-1 that Poch did, and I think Bissouma and Bentancur as your double pivot is fucking dynamite.
Do you think you'll be sad if Poch goes to Chelsea?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would he be the one you'd want back, or would that be a regression?
My heart says I. At the minute, if I had to choose who would come back with the knowledge that he went to Chelsea, Vincent Kompany. Because I think there's no point bringing Nagelsmann, because I feel like we're just going to destroy another good manager, whereas Kompany is on the way up. We wouldn't be as much pressure. Hopefully we're not in Europe next year and just take a year. I think Kane needs to go just because he's that good. He deserves to win something.
And is he 30 now, or is he?
I think he's 30, 31-ish, something like that. I mean, he's outrageous, and like he's on par now with Rooney for Premier League goals. Yeah. I think if he goes to United and they keep buying quite well, which they have been doing, I think they will challenge for the league. Yeah, they could. I respectfully, I can't see Arsenal replicating this form next season unless you buy well.
Well, let's talk about if they buy the likes of Casado, Rice. Yeah, you know, I think that's what they need. They need a wee bit of solidity.
So you would put in Rice ahead of Granit Xhaka, basically. I would sell Xhaka regardless.
Yeah, so would I. Like I think Xhaka has done. he's totally
He's done brilliant this season.
He's totally reborn in that team, like from what he was, and he's totally saved his reputation, and he's come around as being a wee bit of a hero. But if we are to go to the next level, we need to be more consistent. And you'd absolutely stay. I would take Tielemans on a free and on a heartbeat. From Arsenal. He's
great. You need I think you just need depth now. Like apart from I know Trossard was a good wee signing, but your bench has never been. Yeah, but like Rob Holden coming in for Saliba, and then he's cost you quite a bit.
Holden's okay, but he's not that level. Like Saliba's just been world class.
Saliba's your best defender, I think.
Yeah, no, he is. And even Gabriel's good, but
Saliba's just Rolls Royce. Even speaking as a Spurs fan, I
still
don't rate Ben White, but that's just I think he's shit.
I like him. I also like him, but I prefer him at right back than a centre back.
Oh, I wouldn't have him centre back ever again.
I think what would be so Arsenal would be to buy Harry Maguire. That'd be what Arsenal would do.
See, I think we're going to get him. I think we're going to get Harry Maguire and Jordan Pickford, and it's going to be brutal.
Yeah,
absolutely brutal. Like I think the next couple of years for Spurs is going to be painful, but they need that sort of smack in the hole to be like, just because you have a big stadium doesn't mean you're.
Yeah, listen here, you're singing to the choir here.
Yeah, telling you, like you can't deny shit. Like I mean, fair play. Arsenal played great stuff this season too. Like really, but then City have Haaland and the best creative midfielder the world has ever seen, probably.
Yeah, De Bruyne.
Behind it, De Bruyne, like.
And then they also just happen to have likes of Grealish,
Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Mahrez.
Yeah. That's right.
And they're playing like a brand new formation these days too. Play 3-2-4-1, which is crazy.
I hate them.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Haaland and De Bruyne are like cheap players. Just both of them are cheap players.
Yeah.
Like he just kicks the ball up, and Haaland either holds it up for him or scores.
Yeah. But it's working. Like I think De Bruyne has 16 assists this season.
Yeah, that's wild.
Insane.
And he's scoring flat out too.
I know. It's Haaland has like 78 goals.
You know what's mental? Chelsea had him and Salah. And
I know.
Like, you're
shit.
Let's buy Lukaku back instead.
Lukaku. And they have 600 million worth of players there, and they can't score a goal. Dickheads.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad that they fucked it with Mudryk. Fuck that guy.
He's gosh.
He's a rent boy.
Yeah, it's too much. I think too big a move too soon.
Yeah, and you know what else I think about him? And this is sly to say, but I think the fact that he's a Ukrainian guy and moved to a club that's built their entire fortune on Russian money, he's a mercenary. Fuck him.
Yeah, is sly. He is a sly guy.
And what a way to wrap up the podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, Woodsy, it's a pleasure to have you back. And where can people find you? Where do we follow the Woodman?
Insta's the main thing. I don't think Facebook exists really anymore. Yeah. Do people? Insta's the main thing. And I'll be just posting all the gig stuff up there.
And your handle is at Ruairi Woods Comedy.
And there's plans.
Ruairi Woods Comedy. That's how you say it properly.
There's plans for stuff to just do more. I want to do a couple of wee mini shows that Fealties and Bangor.
Yeah.
Reach out.
I know.
And a few wee.
I can sort you out.
Just a couple of wee small rooms. Let's just enjoy. Just enjoy it.
You know what? Do what you want to do. That's life. You know, don't do what you think you should be doing. Do what you want to do.
Yeah. You only get what you give.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was going to call them the Fine Young Cannibals, but it's the New Radicals.
It's the New Radicals. Who's Fine Young Cannibals? What do they do?
You drive me crazy. That decent.
That was alright. Yeah. I know exactly what song you're talking about. So for sure. Can you do anybody else obscure indie bands? Can you do a Keane impression?
A Keane? No, they're too posh for me.
Yeah, they're very posh. I seen them at Oxygen go on after Pendulum and 9 Inch Nails. God bless them.
And 9 Inch Floppies, so fucking they come on the stage. They'll keep your guitars ding 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 ding. You know what? He was a guy who he just has one of those faces that doesn't look like it's ever hit puberty.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a little boy's head on an adult's body.
He looked like Lewis Capaldi before Lewis Capaldi did.
Yeah.
Think about it. They're here. They've got the same old boy. Lewis Capaldi's ma's a dirty. She's dirty. She's been hung out the back of more than.
We could say this is the problem. I'm not switched on enough to make, and then anything I'm going to say is highly inappropriate, so I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
Would say go home.
Yes.
See you later.
I'm not. Well, I'll see you on the flip side.
You'll probably see me in about 5 once I've done the introduction to the podcast. We'll probably I have to leave you home. We're hanging out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're having a good time, and we're talking about
blurts,
flashlights and to sell on the Sly Guy Etsy and Pinterest page.
Yeah, Patreon.
Yeah, arts and crafts.
I'm the Sly Guy.